Who gets hotter than hot pot?
Yeah, don't adjust your eyes, fellas. Pharaohs. It's Hugin cough cough. Yes, I'm in a frog suit. No, you cannot pull this off. Let's get it down.
Okay, let's go.
To the park, green fleece on my back, Velcro under the chin. Yeah, I'm carrying the track. Right, please slow. Tail wagging to the snare. All the alphas looking mad, but I really do not care. See a Doberman flexing, trying to guard his little click. I just hop over a puddle, leave him looking mighty sick. You a basic brown mutt. I'm a neon amphibian, stepping in the dog club, changing the meridian. Your bark is kind of loud, but your bite is just a joke. I don't even got a growl, I just hit him with the croak.
That's my voice supply.
Hop, hop, hop up, make way for Hugin. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin', I'm proving. Your boy's looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah. I said it, the fattest got to hear me, God. Leave your boys to the least, got them living large. Yeah, walk past the water bowl, give a little wink. Got a poodle and a bug, both offering a drink. Your boyfriends are sniffing each other's jump out of tree trunk. These bitches want a prince, well I'm the green prince of funk. Got a Frenchie on my left, got a husky on my right. I'm looking so fly, I'm looking at a summer cold-blooded killer in a warm-blooded body, rolling through the dog park, turning it into a party. Y'all are chasing tennis balls, I'm chasing finer things like a reservation for two, fit for a frog king. Pop, 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 make way for Hugin. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin', I'm proving. Your boy's looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah, shut it, the fattest fits in the yard. Leave the horns on the leash, got it from the yard. I wanna mention Marcus, cause he's on this track. I'm flying, I'm floating like Shaq. I know for a fact I'm not on Epstein's list. I got my own fill with the bitches I kiss. I ain't got ticks, my DJ's beat matching. I ain't got fleas, that's my DJ that's scratching. I got mojo, I got swagger, I strut right past you, dog. You just a silly mutt. Bitches be thirsty, I'm their man's nightmare. The Dow is at 50, so I don't care.
I don't remember signing on to this. I was once inside Hugin until Dad gave him his heart.
Make way for Hugin. Green suit on, yeah, I'm wildin', I'm proving. Your boy's looking tragic, my swagger is magic. I'm taking your bitches, it's honestly classic. Yeah, shut it, the fathers do the limit line. Me the boy, you're the least that I'm living line. Yeah. Shout out to Dad in the Pharaoh chat. Ernie, Birdie, Mitty, Claudia, Tip, Darlene. Wish I could fit everyone into this song. Yeah, Amra, Tish, Toms, Steven, Satan, damn it, Kevin, you wrong. Ladies, you don't gotta get all bent. Cougar's more fresh than 50 Cent. You might not think he's cool, you might not think he's nifty, but Hugin don't count. So John Jones at 50, we out.
He said it, we out.
Hello, my name is Lucille Regan, and I am going to try to make it easier for you to groom a long-haired cat. The kitty we have here today is our little assistant, is named Love Potion, and she's a blue-eyed white Persian. He's got sensation, but it isn't hurting him. And this usually takes about 10 days or, even 2 weeks. You cut one, and then you tell Kitty that Kitty's just a wonderful little kitty, and you wipe the perspiration from your forehead, and you just take this masking tape and you wrap it around Kitty's foot, like so. So no matter how mad Kitty gets at you now, it can pop you, it can try to scratch you, anything else, but
everyone.
it really...
In case you haven't noticed yet, this is a video on how to annoy your cat. So if you've been looking for tips on how to really just take your pet cat and piss it off real bad, she's going to show you how. It looks like step 1 is wrapping its carnal claws up in some sort of tape to bother it. Like she's Micah Stauffer and that is her Huxley. Okay? And she be sweating. Oh, she be sweating. Because when you're annoying the shit out of your cat, wow, it really tuckers a person out.
All you've got to worry about is that if the kitty really gets angry,
That's
that it doesn't bite.
all you have to worry about, by the way. That's it. Nothing else. Not like, taping your cat's feet up is the sign of a psychopath, but that's fine. That's all you have to worry about.
You. The easy way to do this is put them in a bowl.
Okay. You know what? This might be a video on how to eat your cat. I do apologize. I don't suggest eating your cat or putting it in a bowl. But I'm going to let her continue because I'd like to see where this ends up.
Cats have very little patience. Yeah, we know, sweetheart. Yes, I know, sweetheart. It's terrible. Yes. So get in there, and at this time you can go down and meet.
You know what? I feel this cat. Like, I get it. I've been there. You're just trying to sleep and someone keeps brushing your crotch and taping your hands.
The other end. Yeah, Mommy loves you too. And Kitty's head goes through the hole.
I'm going to guess that cat was not saying I love you. What is she? What the fuck? You know what? I'm sorry I showed you this. Is she doing a Dexter on her cat? What is happening here? Is this that thing the hot seats do with the blanket? I'm very upset. I'm very upset. This doesn't feel right. I'm going to let her continue, but it doesn't feel right.
Like so. Hold still, little potty. And every kitty, you kind of have to experiment around, just like with your own fur. And just kind of set the fur the way you want it so that when it dries.
This cat fucking hates her. It's going to be so cute when it's done, but the process is upsetting.
It's going to dry in the pattern that you want. Yes, sweetheart. Use a mayonnaise jar. It's perfect.
Okay.
This first time around, you're going to have Kitty in there 20
How do we report this woman? This is not how you dry a cat.
minutes. Now, if you don't have a clock or an alarm and you got your radio going, 20 minutes is generally about 4 songs on the radio.
Oh, good. Thanks for doing the math. How many songs is it going to be before you're in prison? Because this is very upsetting. This was supposed to be how to groom your cat. It turned into how to annoy your cat, then how to torture your cat. A mayonnaise jar? Specifically mayo, Mia Beto. Mayo Beto. She does need to be put in a cage, like Brittany. Also, going to be laughed at is so funny. I'm sorry. Just the thought of like that cat goes out to play with the other cats and they're like, like what? Hello, His Airness. Jesus. Yeah, every cat likes it a little different. Some of them, they like it when you blow on their face, like people.
Give me that little footsie. You give me that little footsie. Oh, you gotta give me your little footsie. Oh, you're not gonna die. You're gonna have a big...
I'm not sure this cat's... I'm not sure it's not gonna die. I'm not sure about that. Also, I hope it... Look, this is an intrusive thought I'm sharing with you, but I do hope this ends with the cat attacking her. I'm not sure if it does, but it might. Hello, Erica. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is how to piss off your cat.
War with Kitty, and when getting a war with Kitty, generally you do not win. I'm Lucille Regan, and this is all there really is to grooming a long-haired cat. Show them your pretty eyes now. And now we're just going to leave you, and Podie's going to go and take a nap. Thank you very much.
Hi, So you've never been here before?
Never been in jail before, and I'm really scared because I don't know who these people are.
How many drinks did you have last night?
I had 2.
2, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
2 really big ones?
I really love that one part. I'm really scared right now because I don't know who these people are. And then he smiles at the camera. Let's just see it one more time.
So you've never been here before?
Never been in jail before, and I'm really scared because I don't know who these people are.
How many drinks?
I'm really scared because I don't know who these people are is the best thing I've ever. I love this.
I'm really scared because I don't know who these people are.
How many drinks did you have last night?
I had 2.
2, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
2 really big ones?
2 regular ones.
Is that a hater mark on your neck or is that a bruise?
Let's just say I'm really popular. Am I gonna be in like a jail with like a lot of like ghetto people?
You're in jail.
Am I gonna be with these people? Are they gonna like rape me or anything? Am I gonna like? I'm scared. Like I'm really scared. I told Melanie, the officer, and she told me not to call her Melanie. So I was like, I'm like scared. I don't want like these guys to like rape me, and I don't want to become.
This is actually he's talking about Melanie Little. This is what she did before she was an attorney.
Like pregnant when I come out of jail and anything.
Unless you have a uterus, I don't think you're getting pregnant.
Okay, perfect. That's all that matters. I'm not a slut. I promise.
And that is the next shirt is I'm not a slut, I promise. Now, I don't even know how this got in here, but it's supposed to be like an ad for recycling. And I can't. I just can't. I need to talk basketball because Spurs.
Comes up and
because Spurs. And also, Keldon Fox bit his teammate. Keldon Johnson, sorry. He bit his teammate. And I can't. Yeah, he put the U in slut. What? I know exactly. Deferk. Listen, Keldon bit his teammate, and I can't stop laughing at it. Watch this.
oh, he's gonna take a bite out of him. Oh, and he's bleeding. I mean, you know,
He's explaining to Will 70.
I mean,
And he's bleeding. So Keldon went to go talk to his teammate, and he bit him. He went to hype him up, and he bit him. Something about athletes biting each other makes me laugh so hard. I really enjoy this clip. I am starting it over. Here you go.
up and oh, he's gonna take a bite out of him. Oh, and he's bleeding. I mean, you know,
He's explaining to Will 70.
I mean, thank goodness. I mean,
Now look, I did lean in to talk to someone once in high school during theater, and I accidentally put my mouth around their nose because I fell forward. So I technically have bitten someone's nose. Okay. Also, great question. I asked Dylan. He said he didn't know. But I have I've dove into the Jalen thing. There are so many Jalens. There are 40 Jalens, I think. The only thing that's like more Jalens is the only thing that is as weird as how many Jalens are in the NBA, which is actually, if you think about it, this is what's crazy. There are more Jalens in the NBA than there are people who worked around UFOs who are missing. Another thing is there are so many Tylers in football that the schedule announcement for the Cowboys was called like the Tyler Company. And it was 3 Tylers from the Cowboys team going through every single team in the NFL and criticizing a Tyler from that team. There's a Tyler either who coaches or is on the staff or on a team for every NFL team in the league. And there are multiple Tylers in a few of them. There's like 100 Tylers. It's really crazy. I guess that sometimes it's, what's her name? The mother of dragons. Everybody started naming their kid Khaleesi once. I think that that's what's going on. I think Jalen was popular one year. Tyler was popular another year. You know, there's also, how are you guys? Are you doing okay? Who is watching the finals? Also, hello, Laura, tiny little Laura. Hello, Fuzzy Lou. Finally, we get to see Fuzzy here. I found out your schedule from Reggie on Twitter. So I am aware that you guys are on opposite schedules. Hello, Just a Crazy Jen. Hello, Darlene. Everybody's here. Hello, Erica. I see Big Turd. I saw Ernie. I know Derek's here. But there is only one Tyler, the Creator. That's true. There were 6 Caitlins in my daughter. There's always so many Caitlins. Caitlin. When I was in school, there were a million Jennifers. Everyone was a Jen or a Jennifer. Just a crazy Jen, though. You're the only crazy Jen I know. You did? You installed a new garbage disposal? Is it working? Mitty installed, or she got a dishwasher. Very proud of you guys for your appliances. Hello, Pita. How are you doing, Pita? And kind of, sorta, how are you? Reggie is in charge of the channel now. True. You stuck with the classic Jacob for your first. Nice. Because that's versatile. You can go with a Jake if you want, or a Jack. I'm doing good. I'm covered in hives still. They won't go away, and they seem to be getting worse. My face is heavily coated in makeup, so you can't really see that. But my hands and my arms are completely covered in them, and my feet and my legs. So we've tried everything. Like, I switched laundry detergent, rewashed everything. I changed up. I mean, really, I eat the same thing pretty much all the time. Like, I don't really know what it is. Been trying to figure it out, but covered in hives. So that sucks. You broke the copier at work. They all hate me, says Laura. I am the one who breaks the thing and everyone hates me. So I get that. I'm glad I got alive. I still don't need to work. I don't need to work through. I do need to get everybody get your coffee. Get your coffee because tonight is a night. Okay. I have probably, right? I have finagled my way down to a 7 Lisas. Jesus. Remember that time you drove through all those states? That's how offended I am at 7 Lisas. I love Lisas though. My mom's a Lisa, so I support Lisas. That's just a lot of Lisas. Hello, Roasted Bean. Nice to see you. Hello. So, I've kind of whittled my way. I'm in a transitioning phase out of that job. We came to an agreement. I'm getting out of it. Working through it. It's a lot. Probably getting hives from that. Sure. I can see it being from stress for sure. But I'll tell you what, let's go. Watching the NBA doesn't help. Watching the finals doesn't help. I'm very sad for my Spurs. They lost game 3 at home. Wemby looked so upset. I just don't know how we're going to get out of this. I know how. They're going to give it to them. I don't like Oklahoma City Thunder. They're flopping, and San Antonio called it, and they chanted floppers. Now, if you don't know what flopping is, that's dramatically pretending you got hit or putting yourself in a position to purposefully get hit so that you're essentially faking a foul. So it's the opposite of the last game where Oklahoma City Thunder was just beating the shit out of the players like it was WrestleMania. It's lame tactics because they can't rely on talent. So they cheat and they hurt other people. And it's very obvious, and they're getting called on it a lot, not by their refs. But now I get why it is such a nail biter and why people get so into this shit. Because when you slow it down and you watch the replays, you realize, oh my God, this is a very aggressive sport. And these people can be fucking assholes sometimes. Mahjong to you, Tiff. Mahjong. Go get Reginald. So listen, it's been a stressful week for anybody who is a Spurs fan, and definitely if you're a Cavaliers fan. I don't know about Suns. I mean, they're out for now, right? I can imagine. What dirtbag are we looking for? My ex. We can look for him too. But boy, let me tell you, the shit we're going to talk about tonight is infuriating. But the good news is there's actually something that just anybody can do to help. And I think the goal tonight, hello, kittens in crime. Hello, kittens in crime. How are you doing? How are you doing? You can actually take a drink like a grown-up. Noir. Oh. I get hives from alcohol too. And I don't like the taste. So I'm glad you found something that tastes good. A mead, that is a wine from the Renaissance fair that my parents used to make in their basement. Not a basement. I guess you could call it a shed. I don't know what you'd call it. Other built-on room in my granny's house. Irish moonshine, I guess. Oh, that's what Dad was. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, they would go to Renaissance fairs with their homemade mead, and for a while, my granny's house really did smell like a nail salon. So there's that. So yeah, Spurs players are biting each other out of love. The NBA finals are crazy. I've got a couple of silly videos to show you, and then we will get to the topic tonight. And we need these silly videos because the topic tonight is very infuriating. Again, like I said, luckily there's something that we can all do, and that is spread the word. I'm not going to dabble in conspiracy theories necessarily, but I did see something interesting that I'm curious about, and I'd like to know what you'd think. And I'm not saying that it's connected in any way to any other cases, but I will say that just kind of some odd, remarkable things about it that make me wonder if there is a connection to another case. Just wondering. Not saying there is, just to be clear. But we are going to talk about a guy who is on the run and has been on the run for a couple of years now, who murdered a girl up the road from me. A girl who I have mutual friends with, who was in a couple of groups that I was in on Facebook, and she seemed very nice and fun. Just a fun, nice Austinite. She was a computer programmer who worked from home, lived in a little house not too far from here. And she was murdered by her boyfriend, who confessed. And he's been on the run, and the story of how it ended up that way is absolutely nuts. And I believe it lies solely on the shoulders of a wayward judge. Thank you for the tithing for the cult, Mia. I love the idea of a tithing. That's super funny. I love you, and you have earned this now. Thank you for contributing to the Chicken Weenie Fund. Actually, I wanted to tell y'all we are going to donate half of this month's super chats to Meals on Wheels Austin, I think, because my upstairs neighbor told me today he works for them. Well, he works for the VA, but they call and like ask different government ran charities and government ran agencies that might need help with public resources, since they've all been chopped in half or completely gutted by the Trump administration. His job as a military vet is to, because this is like he's retired, but he's working still for the military while he's basically covered by the VA for a while because he was injured. His whole job is to call and be like, do you have the resources? And turns out Meals on Wheels is desperately in need of some stuff for some senior citizens. So I asked him what those things were, and he said like toothpaste, toothbrushes, socks. And what he does is he makes bundles, and then he goes and takes them to Meal on Wheels, and then they give them out to them when they're dropping off the meals. So his job is to collect, and if he needs to purchase or gather donations, and then make these little kits. So I told him I can either give him the money, and he could do that. He can use it to do that, or I can go buy this shit myself. I think what I'm going to do is go to the Dollar General and buy a shitload of like mini toothpaste, or I'm going to see if I can get them in bulk at, what is it, Costco or Sam's? I think he has a card, so I'm going to do that and just try to get him that and like socks and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's really sad that they're gutting all it's all these industries, or I guess how do I put it? Basically, there's all these people who are in charge of giving grants or signing grants out, and all those grants got canceled when the administration came in and basically fired all the people who gave out the grants, sent Elon Musk in with a bunch of 20-year-olds and said, gut everything. And they did. And a lot of those grants went to shit like that, like Meals on Wheels and, women's health services and stuff. And it's just really sad. And the homeless people. So his job is to do that. It's to try to gather these things. And so I think that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to be going there for Meals on Wheels propaganda. I just saw this. Thank you very much, Kittens in Crime. I'm going to be going there and getting a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else that like senior citizens might need that maybe he's forgetting? Because he asked me, like, is there anything else that you can think of? Because, he's like, what can you think of? And I'm like, oh shit. Well, I don't know. Like, do they need Band-Aids? Like, I know it's a lot of like health stuff. So yeah, that, and I was thinking crossword books, like just getting a bunch of the crossword books and some pens, Darlene. Mainly because I know my granny likes to do crosswords and Sudoku. And if they don't have anything to do, or maybe, if their TV's out, word search books. I know they like stuff like that. So I'm thinking of getting a bunch of those. Thank you very much, Roasted Bean. Jesus, you guys are being so nice tonight. Thank you very much. They're going to be really excited about this. I can't wait to tell Raymond. I'm going to be like, come watch this. Look. Yeah, so I'm thinking those. I was also thinking like, I don't know, like I know this sounds silly, but like straws and like balls of water and stuff like that, just because I know that like Robert in his last years, it was kind of hard to lean forward and drink. He loved straws. And he said the longer the better. So I was thinking that toilet paper is good. Let me see. Cat's gonna shit in your shoe, lady. Little magnifying glasses is good. Yeah, denture cleaner is a great idea. Okay. Yeah, if you have any suggestions, put them in the chat. I will include them in the shopping list. This is good. This is very good. I might also order some bulk stuff on Amazon. I think I might do that. And then I'm just going to adult wet wipes. I'm going to star these, by the way. I'm going to star these. Yeah, you guys put your suggestions. I'm going to star them. I'll make a list of them and then I'll give them to Raymond and be like, check off what you need. If this is good, yep, that's a good one. The pillboxes. A visit from Hugin. Oh, I hope so. I took him into the old person's home when we went to visit Robert, and they were so pissed. One of them liked him. The other ones were like, get it away. I was like, oh, shit, dude. Okay, well, thank you guys. Hey, I appreciate your super chats. These are going to be great for them. Hand sanitizer is good. Long straws is good. Oh, thank you again, Roasted Bean. Thank you very much. Long straws. I think long straws are good. Socks are another one. There's this tissues is good. Nighttime diapers is really good. There's also like there's these like Amazon pallet sales. There's one going on tomorrow, and they sell stuff that like people end okay with the P Diddy. They don't go to Diddy parties. Calm down. I'm just kidding. That's a good idea. Baby oil. Also cracked skin oil, like stuff like that. Thermocup with a lid. Okay. Grippy socks. Okay. I'm just going to star all of these. Feminine hygiene products. Okay. They're old though. Do they need that? Here, so you bitches don't get pregnant. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding around. Combs and brushes is good. This is good. Lube and condoms. Thank you very much. Azo is genius. I actually have a couple of packs of that because I genuinely, a long time, I was very stupid. And I thought that Azo was like Flintstone vitamins. I didn't even, STDs. Gotcha. Jesus Christ. Hey, you know what? Thank you guys so much. You've been wonderful. You've been so helpful. And for that, you're going to go ahead and get one of these.
Hey, Stacy. Do you want to go out sometime?
Okay. You are right. They do get UTIs a lot. Okay. Yeah, Azo is good. Also, Tito's of Austin. Yes, they do, Laura. And Ron White has a vodka through them. Yeah, we saw that one in Florida. The one where they're all humping and giving each other everything. You used to work at Menorah Park. Laura, it's a Jewish park. Hey, you're Jewish. The elderly Jewish folks to and from dialysis. I love Jewish grandmas so much. The way they say my name is like butter. Oh shit. I do like it. It does remind me of Linda. What's her name? From she's like Barbara. It's like butter. Mike Myers. Is that his name? Yeah, the old dirty bird ladies. That's all y'all. When y'all are a little older, I'm gonna be having to go take Azo to the communities for you. I'm gonna have to send Derek. I'm gonna be like, go see all of them. Give these to my children. Yeah, the villages. That's the one. That's the one we talked about. And they're all horned up. Cult tithe Peter. Peter. In Australian? I can't. How to speak Australian. Vagina. Thank you very much, Peter. We have a Menorah Manor. That's cool. I like that name. Coffee Talk. I was just thinking about you, Auntie Ree. Sexually transmitted seniors. We're talking about things that seniors might need because my neighbor is making these packs for the seniors, a bag of stuff that they might need for Meals on Wheels because they got their funding cut or something. And they can't afford it. They're desperately in need of oh, my head itches. I even got fucking hives on my head, you guys. They got their funding cut and Meals on Wheels gives out all sorts of stuff, but they really need hygiene products and things like that and socks. And so if you guys have any suggestions, I was also thinking some crosswords and some Sudoku. Chapstick is good. And I'm starring all these ideas because we're going to end up it's true. And it's a lot like when they're out of, when anybody who's diabetic is out of insulin, similar behavior and symptoms. Same with low sodium. What's the other one? I saw it on Cops. This guy, they thought he was a drunk driver. And he was acting erratic. And it's because his blood sugar was super low. It fucks you up, you know? Same with UTIs will fuck you up. My grandma's been, no, she'd be pissed if I said it. No, she wouldn't give a shit. She's been in the hospital like 6 times because of those. Like a UTI will put your ass out when you're elderly. So Azo is good. Lotions is a good idea, Darlene. It's a great idea. Vaseline. I still can't tell if you're serious right now, Tombs, but I'm starring it because I think it is a good idea. At least they can't remember. Okay. God damn it, Derek. Benadryl woman. Dude, I need Benadryl. Just kidding. I just bought a box yesterday. It'll be okay. All right. This next video before we get to the point of tonight, because we got a manhunt we got to talk about. All right. We got to find this fucking douchebag. All right. But before we find the douchebag, I thought this was AI when I first saw this. Okay. This is my tithing to you, Peter. I thought there's no way this could be real, you know? And I decided I don't want to know because after I watched it a little bit, I was like, holy shit. First day on the job is, I believe, what the tweet said. Check this out. I was muted. So I will say something very similar to this happened in my hometown with a 12-foot alligator. And the thing is, there are no alligators in South Texas like that, or at least where I'm from, there was never an alligator. But because of Hurricane Harvey, one washed up and it was famous. It was on the news. It was on this tiny road where I used to have to drive to go to school every day. It's a small back road. I believe they had to tranquilize it or shoot it, but it was fucking them up. And there have been plenty of instances where feral hogs will fuck up cops in my hometown. In East Texas, it's mainly deer, and they will jump through a glass window and they will fuck your entire living room up. And the cops will come in and they will fuck the cops up. So do I believe this? Yeah. But damn, the balls on this pig. This is the real Titanic pig. This is the real Titanic pig. Oh, good morning, Hugin. Are you trying to dig in your bed, honey? Honey, that's a blanket. The more you dig on it, it's not going to make a hole. Okay. Oh, okay. You going to keep doing it? All right. Hey, fun. Oh, he wants under his weighted blanket. Pardon me, I have to put Hoogan's weighted blanket on top of him. I will continue with the piggery. Pig on pig crime. Also, Hoogan says hello. He is under his weighted blanket right now playing Cave Hoogan. Speaking of upstairs neighbor, he gave us a small weighted blanket for Christmas and said that, it can help if dogs get nervous from fireworks. So I was like, okay. It helps Hoogan all the time. He doesn't even need fireworks. He's like, give me that blankie. He loves it. He's under it right now. So he likes the pressure. Also, damn that pig's balls. That's so crazy. There it goes. It's dragging a cow. Okay. So that's one of the craziest videos I've seen on the internet this week. So, of course, I saved it for you. Now, here's another one, okay? This is a very intellectual conversation that was had on the streets of New York City, okay? And it involves basketball talk. And because it's my new favorite sport next to wrestling, all right, I do think that it is on me to show this kind of content to you. Because I do think that this is an intellectually stimulating conversation. I think you can take it as a metaphor for so many things. And speaking of wild pigs, I find it to be interesting, and I'd like to know your answer. And here's the question. If you don't watch NBA stuff, if you're not into basketball, it's really more about the mascots. The question is, if every single NBA team's mascot, had to fight, I guess, to the death. I don't know exactly what the specific rules are, but all the mascots have to take on each other. Which one's winning? And if you think about it, it's like, the Hawks, the, whatever, the Spurs, whatever, the little weird looking fucking baby in New Orleans. If they fought each other, who would win, I guess, is the root of the conversation. But it's an interesting thing to think about. The Grizzlies. Can a grizzly fight a hawk? So these strangers on the streets of New York are having this conversation. If you think about it, it's quite deep. Very deep. What do you think? What's the answer to that for you? Which mascot could take out all the others?
Every single NBA team was what they were, their mascot, their name. That's what you are. And they all had an all-out war. Who would win?
The Hawks.
No.
Yes. The Cavaliers.
I say the Mavericks.
A raptor would destroy all of them shits.
Okay.
A rocket would destroy a raptor.
What about Hornets? Hornets could be.
Hornets could.
Hornets,
Also, number two.
Swarm at them, you're done.
Yeah, the fucking Macaulay Culkin died in that one movie from the Hornets. Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin.
What about Warriors?
He's talking about my girl.
Fuck a warrior, bro. You know what? If I'm a wizard, I'm gonna point my wand at this warrior and be like, a wizard can control where the rockets land. Hey, they can control everything. The wizard's gonna win.
76ers, we took on the British.
Fuck the British.
Oh, that's what 76ers means?
It's like the colonial guys.
The Hawks are bad.
Yeah, but fuck the
I
Hawks.
saw a hawk.
If you have a wizard or magic.
I saw a hawk take a fucking squirrel off the ground and watch. I was like,
oh. You know who?
This guy reminds me of my buddy Eddie Pepitone. But also, he's got the key. He's got the man purse. He's got a lighter and a cigarette, but he's not smoking it. He's making it's the accent. This guy, who is this guy? How did they all meet? Look, the faces are incredible. And I just love, I gotta start it over. I just love the seriousness. Jazz will kill anyone is a great fucking point. Absolutely. I would think, I mean, also, what's a knickerbocker? The Knicks? What's a knickerbocker? Is that pants? Are they the pants?
The Cavaliers.
I say the Mavericks.
A raptor would destroy all of them shits.
Okay.
A rocket would destroy a raptor.
What about Hornets? Hornets could be.
Hornets could.
Hornets,
Also, number
swarm
2.
of them, you're done.
Yeah, the fucking Macaulay Culkin died in that one movie from the Hornets. Yeah.
Holy Culkin.
What about Warriors?
Fuck a warrior, bro.
No, they would die.
You know what? If I'm a wizard, I'm a.
What's a fucking Laker? Is this, do you push them in a lake? They used to be the Bullets. Remember the Oilers? Doubles. What about Dub Bears? No, that's different. That's football. Well, I guess that would be the Grizzlies.
Point my wand at this warrior and be like, a wizard can control where the Rockets land. Hey, they can control everything.
I
The wizard's
said
gonna
the
win.
76ers, we took on the British.
Fuck the British.
Oh, that's what 76ers means?
It's like the colonial guys.
Yeah. The Hawks are bad.
But fuck a
I
hawk.
saw a hawk.
If you have a wizard or magic,
I saw a hawk take a fucking squirrel off the ground and watch. I was like,
You know who will win the war, though? I got to be honest.
Yeah, the undies. Are you gonna the underwears or pants? Yeah, they're like pants or chones. I mean, how's that gonna work? Also, I don't think you're supposed to have grapefruit with it either, Auntie Ree. The Heat. Oh, Heat is the worst. The Suns. Yeah. Heat or the Suns. That's good. I like the little fuck the British. That made me laugh. We continue.
The Clippers. They clip anything. Clip. It's over.
What about the power of music in the Utah Jazz?
No, Jazz will not save the world.
Did we say the Heat?
The Heat is a good one because the Heat could just melt everybody. If the sun is like, yo, I'm gonna be 10 billion degrees and melt all y'all right now, that could be the Heat. So what's more powerful, the Heat or the sun?
What about the Lakers?
Now Lakers.
Lakers what? It's the
So,
Lakers.
Yeah, so they can escape the heat.
So what's the answer?
I think the magic of the Wizards.
Yeah, I would think so
More
too.
powerful.
Celtic. What's a Celtic?
Irish.
Yeah, you don't fuck with the Irish.
Don't fuck with the Irish. That's pretty good. I enjoy them. Did you like that? Did you like that stimulating conversation? Did you enjoy it? Okay. I hope so. I've got one more thing to show you, and then we will continue. This is a new Lil Bubby Wade child. Let me pull it up. I think you'll enjoy it. It's very funny. What's with the Jazz when they were in Utah? I don't know. I thought, were they not in Utah? I thought they were in Utah. They are in Utah. Were they not? Where were they before that? I know Houston had the Oilers for a while. Nope, that's football again. God damn it. Okay, well, watch this because it's very funny. Here we go.
Well, buddy, you can have your fancy European paper straws. Know why? Because when somebody digs me up here in a million years, that U.S. plastic's going to be just as good as the day it was made. And to me, that there's craftsmanship. Well, buddy, you can have your fancy European paper straws.
I love it. Your fancy European paper straws. It's very funny to me. I like his accent. Also, what about the Saints? Yep, the New Orleans. What about the Saints? Meemaw tried. She tried. I'll tell you what. Hey, this is for all of you guys.
Get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't getting on the roof. Never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't getting on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. Never seen a big boy drill on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy drill on the roof. Big boy drilling on the roof. Big boy, grilling on the roof. Big boy ain't grilling on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Big boy ain't driving on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. How you do it like that? Damn, you got titties on your back. Driving on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Oh shit, big boy get loose. Oh shit, big boy get loose. I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. I ain't never, oh shit, you going on the roof. I ain't never see a big boy hump the roof. How you do it like that? Oh shit, you just like a fat. Oh shit, pick up your back. Oh, I ain't never see a big boy get on the roof. Get on the roof. Get on the roof. Get your ass out the roof. Get your ass back out the roof. I ain't never see a big boy leap on the roof. Take a big ass off.
Okay. Big boy on the roof, y'all. And this is the last video before we get to the point. This shit, when I tell you I could not stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. Hello, Noel. Nice to see you. You're going to go see the Saints? Hell yeah. You're going to have a blast. Listen, this is one of the funniest videos I've ever seen on the internet. I am going to mute myself because I can't trust myself. I was scream laughing at this the other day. I think I woke up Dylan. It was a lot. I have watched this so much. Robots fuck me up, but I love this. Watch this little shit try to dance. Did you? I'm sorry. Go back. I'm gonna get a copyright strike. It's fucking. See it again. Oh no! With his tiny little feet. It's just his pregnant hand. This is me trying to get up the stairs. Jesus Christ. This is literally, oh, this is life. That's life, you guys. Okay. So that's what my Twitter feed looks like. I love that thing. I love that thing so much. You know what? I'm good with robots. I'll take robots now. I'm fine with it. It's so crazy. And I will timestamp it because it does take forever. Don't worry, I'll timestamp this one because I actually realized I do have 2 more videos. They're a minute each, and then we'll get to the gabagool. I promise. I promise. But one of them, the first one is a real news story that I was like, what? Because I have done this. Here's the thing, though. The news story you're about to see, I started doing what this guy did. And then a person walked in and was like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing in my house? We figured it out and I left. This was back when I cleaned apartments. But this guy finished the task. And I thought it was so incredible. I was like, I have to show them. I have to show them. And then the next is just something that's been going viral about Texas that made me laugh pretty hard. And it's very accurate. Okay. Slightly offensive, but very accurate. And very funny. And if it's funnier than it is offensive, it's fine. And then we have our prayer. And then we will get to the gabagool. Okay? Okay. It's just been a while since I've seen you kids. I have so much shit to show you. Texas is, I think it's 1 time zone. It might be 3. I don't know. I'm not good at time zones or locations of states or existence of states. I still think some of them are made up. But I digress. Watch what happened to this guy.
The other day, 27-year-old Louis Angelino was hired to clean a friend's apartment in South Jersey. He was told he'd find the key under the mat.
2.5 hours later, place is spotless.
Then the friend reached out to Louis with a perplexing question.
Are you here? Did you come clean today? And I was like, yeah, I came and cleaned. Like, I'm sitting in your living room right now. Your cat's on my lap. I'm playing with your cat. Louis? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I don't have a cat.
Yep. Louis had just spent a lot of elbow grease cleaning the wrong apartment. Just so happens both places had keys under the mat. This is the apartment Louis mistakenly cleaned. The homeowner was so shocked.
Everything's shining.
Look how immaculate. Every room.
You're not going to believe this.
Okay. That was fucking filthy. I would be so pissed if I cleaned that. I would be so pissed if first of all, that's hoarder level shit. I used to clean for hoarders. I've cleaned for quite a few hoarders.
So I said, what?
The amount is vastly different that is charged.
He said, somebody broke in and cleaned our apartment.
Really?
Okay, so on to the offensive thing. Yeah, that was hoarder level. He ends up getting paid. He told them it was on the house, but I think the news paid him or his friend. But I've done that. I was told, hey, there's a lockbox. There's a lockbox on the door. Here's the code. And I found an apartment, exact same address, but it was A, not B. And the lockboxes had the same code. Now, the deal was that one had been moved into. So a woman lived in it. And I'm cleaning her fucking apartment. And I'm like, there's boxes everywhere. This is weird. And then she's like, get the fuck out of my house. So I've been there, but I didn't finish the job. This kid finished a job and he's playing with some cat he doesn't know. What? I just thought that was so funny. What a crazy story. I like how one of y'all was like, this is the crime scene. No, that is not from the Brian Egg case. Now, this is point of view. You go to Texas. This has been going a little viral online. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts about it. Every single person on there who says they're from Texas agrees this is 100% accurate. I've not seen a single Texan say that's not accurate. I've seen a lot of people not from Texas say it. Never go to Texas. I would love that. You know what? That's a shirt. Absolutely clean the cat. And he put a bag around it just like that lady. Oh my God, that lady talking about how to groom your cat. That was some Luca Magnotta shit. She needs to chill out. The mayo jar, I know. It's fucked up. You know, whatever you got to do, right? Yeah, the cat objected. The cat was like, you don't belong here. He absolutely would have cleaned the fish tank. And he would have not told. That guy was just a good hard worker right there. So anyway, if you ever do go to Texas, here's a perfect example of what it's like in every city.
No, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I probably should not. What the fuck?
I have no soul.
Well, this sucks.
What kind of place is this?
Heavenly Father, we thank
Thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the RO7 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa, and my two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity. Amen.
Okay. So there you go. God rest Kyle Busch's soul. R.I.P. to him. May he be in heaven with GM Performance Technology enjoying himself. That's some sad shit. I don't know exactly what happened, but I know he died, and a lot of my relatives were very sad. So there's that. So R.I.P. to him. You guys, you don't have to clean the apartment. That guy, he wanted to clean. Oh, he did. Oh, how he did. Okay, let me pull up what I need to pull up for you. Give me just 1 second. Here, I'm going to pop something on real quick. While I pull up the deets for you guys. I think it's been a while since we've had this. So I'm going to go ahead and let you peep this one more time.
Hello, folks. Nuck here. A lot of you have been asking me about my morning routine, so here it is. It's my new teeth. Snort-worthy smile, if you ask me. So I like to start my morning by waking up at 2 in the afternoon, get a quick lift, lick, and lurk in before I go off and spend the next several hours in the woods. And this time is mainly for my freeform lurks. I just lurk like no one's watching. Then I head into town to do some casual creeping. I mean, I'm freaking everyone out because I'm getting in my squirms. But you gotta squirm to stay firm. I forget what I'm doing for the next 3 days and get an office job that I absolutely hate. Spend most of my time hiding in the storage closet, but all my coworkers know I'm in there. The next 26 hours I'm purposefully unconscious. Come to so I can try on some tuxes because I'm getting married. Love to Ragnora. I'll practice my funeral for 30 minutes, at which point I gotta pretend to listen to someone tell me about a dream they had, but I'm really just thinking about what I'm gonna say. Then, and this is important, I'll just wait, eerily, for hours. What am I waiting for? A big heap of nothing. I wait to wait. I'll spend 2 minutes trying to create fire with my mind, giving me just enough time for a last lurk before the day begins. That's the Bobo way.
That's the Bobo way. Okay? That is the Bobo way. And also, for those of you who seem to be forgetting to be grateful, please be grateful.
The Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000.
The Dow, okay? The Dow is over 50,000. Check yourself. Please, by all means, check yourself. Also, in case you forgot, Shaq can fucking fly.
quite sure why I'm here or what I'm doing, but there's a reason.
Ma'am, we're discussing the rezoning for the Portillos. Do you have any comments on that?
For what?
We're discussing the rezoning on 53rd for...
Well, I live on 63rd.
Again, we're here to hear comments about the rezoning.
Well, I don't like Facebook, and I don't like the internet because I can't find a job. The library blocked my password. Now tell me, does that make any sense to you?
Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. I think I got all the pictures up that I need. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll pop up here real quick. Let me stop sharing, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the entire window. Okay, excellent. That'll make it a lot easier. All right. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about a guy who is on the run right now. There's been a manhunt searching for him for 9 years. Police do believe, as of this year, U.S. Marshals, federal authorities do believe that as of this year, the most recent update is he's still around. He's probably being helped by someone close to him. He may have a new girlfriend or spouse even who has no idea of his history. He may be going by a new name, but more than likely he could be homeless. And then they also want people to be on the lookout for this guy. And it's a really fucked up situation. And I'm going to tell you about it today. And then we're going to watch some episodes on it. But it kind of has a little history to it because of the specific year that it happened. Now, I'm trying not to get too deep into Austin lore here. But a lot happened on the year, or in the year that this man, he could also potentially be in Mexico. That is another option, and we'll get to that. Because there have been some potential sightings. But this is something that has been on my mind for a while. And this is a situation where I do think that just strangers on the internet, anybody can help. Because all it takes is one person to see this guy and go, hey, I know him. And then boom, case can literally be solved because this guy admitted to a murder. And it happened not too far from my neighborhood, to a very sweet girl. I have some mutual friends with her. I didn't know her personally, but everything I've seen about her and the way her friends have spoken about her, and she was in tech here in Austin working from home. Like, I can relate. Like, everything about her, I feel like she was a very sweet girl. She seemed like kind of an earthy hippie. And she seemed very, very smart. And she seemed to be, based on everything that I've researched on this case, dealing with some very serious issues at home with her boyfriend. Now, her name is Catherine Dyer, and this was her boyfriend, Michael Kevin Waguespack. Now, he goes by Mike. Also, Mike Wags is his main screen name and handle on everything. He went to high school with Catherine, and then years and years later, and they dated briefly in high school, I believe. And then years later, they got together and started dating again after talking online, I believe. And they both grew up in the Katy, Houston area. And these are two people who basically reunited later in life and got back together, kind of like John and Karen. Same situation. And Waguespack, he worked out in Maynard doing like, I believe it was like some sort of construction and labor stuff. He always got jobs from like family members, people close to him. He has a hell of a criminal record with a lot of like just stupid offenses, a lot of drug offenses. He just had a lot of issues. And it seemed like Catherine, who was pretty successful, worked from home, rented a house in a pretty decent neighborhood, very nice one. It seemed like she was pulling a lot of the weight. And this is just my impression of it. But they had been together for a few years and they had mutual friends who were always around them, and they had been out drinking one night and some stuff went down. And this was in 2015. So I want to talk just a little bit about 2015 and some of the things that happened in Austin leading up to this. Okay. And this is going to be a lot, but I just want you to get an idea of the type of shit the city was going through. So here we go. And I did pre-write some of this. So, give me a break. So 2015, it was a rough time for Austin. Okay. We had capped off the year prior, 2014, kind of collectively as a city mourning the death of this woman. Like a lot of people were really upset because this woman was a choir teacher and her name was Kathy Blair. And she taught a lot of students in the Austin area. Like a lot of people knew Kathy. And Kathy was 53. She was a choir teacher. A bunch of people loved her, sweetest lady. And in December of 2014, they found her stabbed and strangled to death in her house in Northwest Austin. And it ended up being two guys who got popped for it pretty quickly. And that was these two assholes. Sean Gant, I can never say his name right. Sean Gant Benalcazar and Timothy Parlin. And they were eventually convicted of a murder. They were sentenced to life in prison. There were two trials, but the first one ended in a mistrial, so they had to redo it. And a lot of people were upset. They were terrified. I personally noticed a major escalation in violent crime in my beautiful hippie city at one time, Austin, which, by the way, it's always been known as like a little blue oasis in a big red state, right? It's a city that felt safe. It's super liberal. It's all peace, love, hippie shit. People love public access television here. That's a big deal here. It didn't matter if you had dyed hair and eyelid piercings. You could still work at the bank. Everywhere's dog. You could take your dog anywhere. Unfortunately, there were a lot of vegan menus back in the day. There still are. There's festivals everywhere all the time. Like that's the Austin that I remember. It's like the joke back then was, and back then, I mean, 10 plus years ago, the joke was you need a wristband to get into that person's front yard. You know what I mean? Like we had a cross-dressing homeless guy who ran for mayor and almost won. So this is the hippiest place in Texas. This is the most, and the reason I want to say that is because it really was very PC lovey. There wasn't a shitload of violent crime. It just wasn't. You didn't see that much on the news. We also celebrate Eeyore's birthday, the sad donkey. Like we used to call this place Sodom and Granola. Like it's my buddy Andy used to say, this is where dreamers go to dream. Okay. And so anyway, in 2014, like right before Kathy Blair's murder and these two fellas get caught, I ended up getting my ass kicked. I got jumped that year. Like it was horrible. I got stabbed. Like I could tell there's a lot of bad crime happening. And it wasn't just me. There were 4 comics who were also attacked within a year of my situation, all unrelated. One of them was stabbed walking on Riverside. 2 of them were beaten by gangs. And one of them was chased by a guy trying to rob him. Doug, he ended up trying to parkour off a building and breaking his entire fucking leg. Like there was just a lot of crazy shit going on, especially gang violence. It was bad that year. And so then we have Kathy Blair. And then we had a situation where there was a judge who was ambushed by people trying to kill her. And I don't even have her fucking picture. But it was like a big deal. It was a huge deal. It was like this judge got attacked. Her and her kid got shot. They were literally ambushed, and it was over some case she handled. Like, it was that was shocking. Okay, so all that was happening. All right. And this is all 2014 to 2015. So we're starting 2015. We've got choir teacher murdered. We had a serial rapist going around town attacking women on trails. Okay. We had almost 30 murders in Austin before we even hit fall. Okay, so 30 murders. And that kicked off with a 16-year-old boy who was murdered over a pot deal gone wrong. And then a nurse who was stabbed in the park, again, right by my house, by this girl that you're looking at, named Pearl Moen. And she had a history of torturing birds. And she wrote in her diary that she was excited because she killed a woman and stole her necklace. And what a thrill it was. Her own mom turned her in. This was a girl who used to smash live birds on the counter in front of her roommate. Like, she was crazy as fuck. And because of the paperwork error, they almost let her out. And that nurse, Katie, she survived, but she almost died. Like, she was stabbed a lot by this girl. So all that had just happened. Okay, like, just happened. And then we had an APD officer, Vontre Clark, who ends up all over the news because he killed his pregnant girlfriend. He murdered her and then left her body posed in Bastrop to look like someone else did it. So in the midst of all this shit going on, the murder rate is skyrocketing. We have the skyrocketing. Then we have a serial bike trail rapist to look out for. Then, while all that's going on, we had a situation where somebody was throwing rocks off of the bridge, giant stones off of the bridge on 35. And this rock thrower is throwing them onto people's windshields as they are going 70 miles an hour down the corridor that stretches from Mexico all the way to north, all the way up through North America, all the way up through the center of the state. I believe it goes up to Detroit. But either way, like, someone's throwing rocks and they're smashing windshields and they're causing people to spin out of control. Lots of car accidents. People are dying. One woman was brain dead. So the rock thrower becomes a big thing. So now we have this rapist. Then we have this rock thrower. Then we have a girl stabbing people in the park. Then we have a judge and her kid who are ambushed and shot. Okay. Then we have a K2 epidemic. And we have homeless people who are attacking and stabbing students on campus. So 2015 ends up being like the most Florida year possible in Texas. And somewhere mixed in all that, November 17th happens. Now, this is right around when Pearl here stabs the nurse. Okay, that happened. Then there was, I believe, a guy dressed as Santa who shot someone at a party nearby. Then we had people attacking people with machetes. And then we had homeless people attacking people on campus. The judges like, all this shit is happening. And then there's one or two news reports on a situation involving this guy. And this was just up the road from me. And I immediately was like, oh my God, I know the girl. Like, I've seen her on Facebook. She's posted in this group and that group. And I look at her and I'm like, holy shit, she's friends with this. Yeah, I know her. I've seen her around. I've heard of her. And I started seeing my friends posting like RIP. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm going to tell you what happened. And then I'm going to show you some of the news reports, okay? So on November 17th, in the midst of all this shit going on in Austin, a very stupid and evil degenerate named Michael Kevin Waguespack, did a very terrible and evil thing to Catherine Dyer, just a few blocks from where Pearl Moen stabbed the nurse in a cute corner house. It was late at night. And before anyone could like digest this, the news was already reporting other violent crimes and murders. And it felt like the story got lost in the whole shuffle. You know what I mean? And that could be because LE obviously had their guy, and that was this guy. the boyfriend, Kevin, who confessed, by the way. Or they thought they had their guy, that is, until something insane happened when a judge who, in my opinion, must have had their brain surgically replaced with a fucking fetid bison turd, fucked everything up royally. So Kevin Michael Waguespack is an accused murderer and fugitive who is wanted for the 2015 shooting of his live-in girlfriend, Catherine Dyer, in North Austin. After he confessed and fled out of state, a Travis County judge controversially removed the GPS ankle monitor, enabling him to vanish. Why? Because it limited him on jobs. So on November 17th, Catherine was found fatally shot in her bedroom of her home in North Crest Boulevard in North Austin. Her and Kevin's mutual friends from back home in Houston, where they're both originally from, they were out with them that night, partying. And when they returned home, some of the friends started reporting and getting like weird texts and calls from Kevin. So they called in a welfare check on Catherine. And also the neighbors heard them screaming and fighting and knew that something was going down. And her friends were the ones who showed up. They showed up. They're like, we're doing a welfare check and we're going to show up and we're going to check on her because we got some weird messages from him. And when they checked on them, they found Catherine in what was described as the most brutal crime scene. The home was completely wrecked. Kevin was nowhere to be found. And Catherine was there dead, covered in blood. Okay. And the police go there to work the scene. And while they're actively working the scene, okay, about 12 hours later, they're still working the scene. They're gathering evidence. They get a call, and the phone call is from Kevin. He called 911 from the Houston area, and he asked to speak to the cops, and he told them it was him, that he shot and killed his girlfriend. So then he said he wants to turn himself in. And so they said, okay. And he was supposed to turn himself in Houston, but then he didn't. He took off, and there was a standoff as they tracked him to his mother's house in Mississippi. And they had to send the SWAT team in. So he didn't turn himself in. The SWAT team had to go get him because he fled. He didn't show up and turn himself in where he was supposed to after confessing. So then he gets extradited into Texas, and the judge sets his bond at $250,000, okay? And he gets a GPS tracker put on him, and he gets bonded out. And while he's out on bond awaiting trial, his defense attorney successfully petitioned District Judge Tamara Needles to remove the GPS ankle monitor because he needed to work and it didn't look good, even though he had a boss in Manor who he was fucking living with at the time. So the prosecutors, they objected to the removal, but they were not given the opportunity to respond before the order was signed. And not only that, they didn't even make the DA aware of this until months later. So he is supposed to be back in November of that year of 2017. He had been on bond for almost 2 years, half of that without an ankle monitor. And then a few days before he's supposed to appear for his pretrial hearing for his murder trial, he disappears off the face of the earth. So, with that said, there have been all kinds of different alerts about him and his whereabouts. A recent one I saw says wanted. There's a $10,000 reward. This is the same one that was put out in 2018, though. And it said information leading to the arrest of Kevin Mike Waguespack. He was known to be along the U.S.-Mexico border along Acuna or Piedras Negras, Mexico. If you have any information, contact Freedom Bail Bonds at 481-0000. 512 is the area code. All tips will remain anonymous. He was residing in Manor, Texas before going on the run. He may have shaved his facial hair. Do not try to apprehend or contact, they say. So he remains a fugitive to this day. The judge who signed off on him removing his ankle monitor. Tamra refuses to speak out on it because it's an open case. And what's even crazier is he tried to evade arrest one time already. He tried to flee and had to be brought in by a SWAT team. And yet he was let on bond and they let his ankle monitor off. That is the most absurd shit I've ever heard. So Kevin is currently sought by the U.S. Marshal Service, Lone Star Fugitive Task Force for a murder in Austin, Texas. Waguespack has ties to Houston, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. He also has ties, by the way, to Mexico. A lot of ties to Louisiana, mainly in government and the sheriff of a Louisiana town. So there's governors, there's sheriffs. So he's got a lot of political ties and he's got a lot of law enforcement ties. Now, shortly before he went missing, his family from Houston met up with him in a hotel here in Austin. They did not tell the marshals what they discussed. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't show up for court, and they have no idea where their baby boy could be. He's been on the run ever since. It's not just Houston, Louisiana, Mississippi. I personally think it's the entire southern region, all the way to Florida. And I do think Mexico is a strong possibility. Absolutely. But he has a lot of home ties to Houston and Louisiana. So I think those could be most likely. I feel like Mississippi, because SWAT picked him up there, maybe not so much, but this is a real tiny town that his mom's from. A real tiny town where he was picked up. He likes to go by Mike, and he used Wag or Wags in all of his social media handles. His dad put up their land for bail money, over $100K in property before he jumped bail. Their mutual friends are terrified that he's still on the loose, likely because they would have been witnesses in the trial, and they blame the judge, Tamara Needles, for that, which I don't blame them. The DA's office were not made aware until months later that his ankle monitor was allowed to be removed by the judge because Kevin Michael Waguespack complained that he couldn't get a job with it on. The marshals were not made aware that his ankle monitor was removed until after the fact either. The judge keeps telling the press and the critics that she can't comment on it because it's an ongoing case, and he has family of prominence from police to politicians in Louisiana and DFW area. Now, Catherine Dyer, she was a computer programmer. She has family. She has friends. All the friends who claim that they knew him and her like brother and sister, like they loved both of them, say, we need to catch him. No one is taking his side other than maybe family, and we don't know because they don't want to talk about it. According to U.S. Marshals, just a short time prior to his trial, his entire family came to meet Kevin at the hotel room in Austin for a family meeting, which the marshals felt compelled to include in a public interview with KXAN, insinuating that perhaps the discussion was had about the upcoming trial, and then he was nowhere to be seen, which they find to be very weird. It does not surprise me that he did run, according to their friend, who is terrified. So everybody's pissed about this. This guy could still be out there. Thoughts and ideas are welcome. Not Sharon Needles, Tamara Needles, different Needles. But I believe that he could still be caught. And I do think that there's going to be some sort of trail for him, for sure. Faux show online. But it's maybe not going to be under his old screen names and such. But I do think that he is in contact with someone in his family close to him. I don't think that he could be dead because, many reasons. But namely because the marshals keep talking about it on the news like he's alive, like confirming, like they think he's still being sought after. But he also can look very different, depending on how he comports himself, how he does his hair, how he shaves his face, his weight. it's very much like that one guy who, lit his family on fire and then fled with the dog, and then they found the dog and Robert something, and they keep looking for him, and you would think by now he'd be gone, but they're like, no. I think that they have reason to believe he's still alive. And also, he's one of those, like, he seems to me like a spoiled guy. So here, let's watch a news report on this so you guys can see some of what we saw when this was going down. What? There's no audio? Really? There's no audio? You couldn't hear any of that? Damn it. StreamYard. I'll restart it. I do apologize. I'm going to have to edit that out. It's okay. Here, let me reshare it. Also, update from Dade's boyfriend's work. There's a new guy at the comedy club who just started. It is his second day of work. Someone outside was choking. He did a Heimlich. I think a chicken bone shot out of the guy's throat, and he saved his life. So that's pretty fucking cool. Listen, puta. So that's pretty neat. Good for him. Saving lives. Darlene, they're trying to be you, girl. They want to be Darlene, but they ain't.
An Austin murder victim's family on hold tonight after her accused killer went missing.
31-year-old Catherine Dyer was shot and killed in her North Austin home in 2015. Her boyfriend, Kevin Waguespack, called 911 and confessed to the crime.
The Night Beat's Chris Betts is
Also,
live from
I have to say this. Every single person you hear say his name is going to say it wrong. I say Waguespack. They say Waguespack. He just said Wagenstock. No one's going to say this guy's name correctly. Let's consider it disrespect to him, the alleged murder. Also, again, oh my God. Oh, Vinnie Politan loves cat killers. I don't know. Allegedly. That's the best I can get out of it. Yeah, they have a food truck in the back. Laura, you didn't see it? Fun fact, Roseanne's grandson used to work that food truck. He doesn't anymore. About the appeal. Oh, great. Well, her sage wisdom, I'm sure, will get Richard Allen out. Or whatever case she's glommed onto. Yep. New guy saved a life. I bet they're going to keep him. Excellent. Good for him. You did see it? Yeah, well, someone almost choked to death and the new guy saved him. But I digress. Let's continue to watch this.
Travis County Courthouse, and Chris, he was supposed to be there first thing Monday morning.
Aquita and Mike, this is the moment that the victim's family has been anxiously awaiting, when the accused killer would walk through these doors and face justice after years of waiting. But tonight, Waguespack is still missing. He was released on a $250,000 bond after he was arrested in Mississippi, where he fled after Catherine was killed in 2015. He was forced then to wear an ankle monitoring bracelet. But this summer, a Travis County
Waguespack is how she said it. Get a good look at this piece of shit. Get a good look at him. All right? You see this guy? Call the popo.
County judge ruled that bracelet could be removed. So police are now actively looking for Waguespack. In the meantime, I spoke to Catherine's sister, Christina, who lives in Oklahoma. And tonight she tells me that they're still preparing for court on Monday.
Hearing that he hadn't showed up was hard. because I think most of the family at this point feels like we're going to have one good last push and then it was going to be over, and now we might not get that.
We have tried repeatedly to speak to Judge Tamara Needles.
This is Judge Tamara Needles, and when they use a stretched out, squished picture, that's when you know they're dunking on the judge. Okay? Waguespack. Yep. Definitely a pendejo. Jinxie, welcome, Jinxie. She could be any of us. This is that shit judge. What a horrible judge.
And ask why she ruled to remove his ankle monitoring bracelet over the summer. She says she cannot comment because it is still an active case. Judge Needles was sworn into office here in January after working as a defense attorney for nearly 20 years. But Catherine Dyer's family tells me tonight they do not want the focus to be on the judge's actions. Instead, they say they just want Waguespack caught so he can be brought here Monday morning for trial. Reporting live from downtown Austin, Chris Betts, KV News, Night Beat.
Thank you.
Also, we will be, or I will be, I have reached out to two of her best friends, Catherine's, who pretty much handled like speaking for the family at the time. And we have some mutuals. I reach out to them. I'll see if they can come on. If there's anything that they can tell us. I am pissed, and I'm not even the fucking family. The family must be fucking furious. Like, this is really crazy. Yeah, I don't know if she is or not, and I have no idea. Definitely not Sharon, yeah. What up, Jinxie? If you see this fucking fool, this fucking pecker, this fucking douchebag. Oh, big time, dude. Big time. And the victim's family still showed up for court. He didn't. You know what I'm interested in is, did his family show up to court? Because if they didn't, that says a lot.
For Mike Waguespack was set to begin, but he didn't show up. KXAN's Phil Prazen reports law enforcement believes he is now on the run.
34-year-old Mike Waguespack did not show up to court Monday morning. Prosecutors say he killed his girlfriend, Catherine Dyer, 2 years ago.
I think it's an unacceptable situation. We do everything we can to do it right and bring the person in, and then to have the system fail this way is very frustrating.
That frustration is targeted at Travis County Criminal Court Judge Tamara Needles, who signed an order to allow Waguespack's GPS tracker to be removed for employment reasons. The district attorney objected because 2 years ago, Waguespack fled to Mississippi.
Again, I'd like to point out, he was living with his boss, BOSS, in Manor, Texas at this time. How are you going to complain about job prospects when you're living with your fucking boss? Your boss implies that you have a fucking job. So you don't need to get your ankle monitor off, douchebag.
Before he was caught. The judge signed the order in April.
When it's a very serious charge like murder, and the defendant has already fled the jurisdiction once, it seems to me that a judge should not enter an order like this.
Since then, it's been really hard. I haven't necessarily got out in society as much as I should have.
Dyer's sister, Tina King, was expecting closure with a trial. And now it's more waiting.
A lot of breaking down, a lot of being in the middle of making macaroni and cheese and having to turn off the stove and go curl up in a little ball and cry myself to sleep.
I reached out to Judge Tamara Needles to see if she wanted to respond to the district attorney. Her office tells me that she does not comment on cases in her court. At the Travis County Justice Complex, I'm Phil Prazen with KXAN News.
Freedom bail bonds put up the $250,000.
So notice how first she couldn't comment, and now she won't. Kind of, yeah, I see that. Prison Mike. No, it was like construction stuff, I believe. I think I saw that he was doing like construction stuff. I could see him working on an offshore oil rig also, but I believe it was like custom stuff. I mean, what do you call it? Construction stuff. Oh God, there was another thing he did. It was, I don't remember if it was like cabinets or something. I have to look it up. I have all of the data on him. I just need to, where is it? I think he also worked for his dad at one point. Hold on, let me pull it up. I'll tell you exactly what he did. Uno momento, por favor. All right, let me see. Yeah. So one of them was a place called Siemens, which is not what you would think. Siemens Energy. So that was one of them. Yeah, that type of stuff. Good morning, Julia. Which, by the way, Full Throttle is on the cover of the Chronicle this week. No big deal. Yeah.
$1 bond. They have hired private investigators to help in the search. Many times suspects are released after a bond agency.
Also, Freedom Bail Bonds is like the worst name for a bail bonds company because you're not free. You're on bond because you did some shit. Free implies that you didn't do shit and you're free. Is it Freedom Bail Bonds because they let everybody skip town and get away with it? Investigate the bail company.
He pays their bond amount. Loved ones usually have to pay 10% of the amount to the bondsman, and then the agency covers the rest of the cost. But the bond agency requires collateral like a car, jewelry, even a house. If the suspect does not show up in court, the bond agency can claim those assets to recover the money they lose trying to find the suspect. The group searching for him, the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force, is under the leadership of the U.S. Marshals. They look for wanted suspects, especially people who are on the run. The task force itself is made up of officers from several local police departments, 5 county sheriff's offices, 3 state agencies, and 3 federal agencies.
All that, and they couldn't catch this motherfucker, huh? Crazy. Crazy. We are going to talk more about him in the future. We're going to dig deep on this asshole. I mean, he's already took flight twice. Like, that is fucking crazy. And we're definitely starting a thread on Reddit about him. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Okay. I don't want to be too... Okay, look. I'm going to show you something in a minute. We're going to watch one more news article or one more news piece on him. And then I'm going to show you something. And I don't want anybody to get like, oh my God, this is, definitely. Like, it's not like that. But I did see something that kind of made me go... And I don't want to be too conspiratorial. So I'm going to say I'm 20% out of 100. I'm 20% on one possibility of why and how all of this went down. Like the timing of it. And another crime that I do wonder if maybe it could have been him connected to it or who did it. And maybe that crime led him to kind of go a little crazy and take it out on her and kill again. Or the situation with Catherine could have been the first. I will say there are some, he's got some fucked up pictures on his Facebook. One is a snake he shot with the gun right by it. So he definitely has a gun. Obviously he shot her with it. But there's something that happened shortly before her death. And the CCTV of the person who did this other crime looks so much like him to me. But could be wrong. Which is why I say 20%. I'll show you in a minute, but first let's watch a little more about him. So you can get to see him because they show you some different pictures and different news stories. Tell you, a lot of them will repeat the same shit, but sometimes there's a new nugget in there. So I just kind of want to show you as much of the footage as possible, and then I'll show you something else, okay? I'll show you what I'm talking about and the thing that I wonder if he could be connected to it, okay? So here we go.
Natalie, thank you very much. A man accused of killing his girlfriend is still missing this morning, now just hours away from when his murder trial is supposed to begin.
Kevin Waguespack has been missing since Thursday. Investigators are still trying to track him down. KXAN's Chris Davis is live outside of the Travis County Courthouse. Chris, where you've been last week trying to figure out how all of this happened. Good morning.
Good morning, John and Sally. Now, there is still a chance that this trial is going to go on here as planned this morning. If investigators catch Waguespack in enough time to get him here by 9 a.m., then he can still face that murder charge starting this morning. Now, as you said, Waguespack never showed up for his final pretrial hearing on Thursday. Police and prosecutors say Waguespack killed his girlfriend, Catherine Dyer, in November 2015. He's been out on bail since last June, and earlier this year, a judge removed the GPS monitor he had been ordered to wear. Now the bail bondsman that put up the money to get him out has private investigators looking for him. The Lone Star Fugitive Task Force is looking too. The victim's family is driving in for the trial today from Houston and Oklahoma, and they tell me they don't think he should have been out in the first place.
It's not a justice system for Catherine. It's a justice system for the people, for the person that killed Catherine.
And Waguespack's attorney has declined to speak with KXAN on camera so far. Sally.
Yeah, we reached out to his attorney, John Evans, and he said, no, not at this time. Chris, what about the GPS? Why was it ordered to be taken off in the first place? What did you find out?
Yeah, so back in April, Waguespack's attorney filed a motion. I've actually got a copy of it right here. And basically what it says, it asks Judge Tamara Needles to remove that GPS, quote, due to employment concerns. The district attorney's office, of course, objected to that, and the judge did side with the defendants in this case. So that was taken off at that point, and up until Thursday, he had been complying with the other parts of this bond. He'd been showing up.
See, that's also the weird part. He'd been complying. And the marshals made it a point when they were being interviewed on another station to say he had been complying, and then he had this hotel meeting with his family, and then he's gone. Now, I'm not saying they had anything to do with it, but the timing's a little weird, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only.
To his other hearings and even reporting back weekly to the bail bond company that got him out in the first place.
And then Thursday, he was just a no-show at his court hearing, Chris. But what else did he agree to when it comes to getting that GPS monitor on and then him out of jail? What were his bond conditions?
Yeah, so we've actually got a copy of that here as well. The bond itself was $200.
Also, I apologize if it's hard to hear. I tried to turn it up. I don't know if it helped.
$50,000. It also included that he not travel outside the county and surrender his passport. And, of course, that GPS monitor was...
And see, that's interesting because he last reported that he was living with his boss in Manor, which is outside the county. But okay.
Part of it originally, and after it was taken off, an employee at the bail bond company that did get him out said they weren't even aware that that GPS monitor had been taken off. And that's something that they strongly consider when they're even trying to decide whether or not to work with a client. So they say they were blindsided.
So that's crazy, right? So the DA didn't know. The marshals didn't know. And the bail bondsman didn't know. And the judge, excuse me, ordered it to be removed. Yeah, I believe that's right. And his dad had to literally sell his land. It's like $100-something thousand worth of land. It's crazy.
When he didn't show up on Thursday.
It'd be interesting to see what Judge Needles has to say about it this morning at 9. Chris, thank you for that report.
To 10, a suspected killer who's been free on bond never showed up to court today, and we've been working all evening to piece together something we found odd about this case. The murder suspect had been wearing a GPS
and also,
tracker,
I love this guy, the way he puts this. Something odd
explains that changed months ago.
That's right. And until today, Robert, it hadn't been much of an issue at all. The Travis County DA's office says Kevin Michael Waguespack has been showing up to all the other hearings leading up to next week's trial. He was ordered to wear that GPS monitor as a condition.
So this is all
of his
the same shit. Now, keep in mind, this is a murder suspect who confessed and then had to be brought in by SWAT team after fleeing. He should not have been allowed any bond, any bail, none of that to begin with. He confessed. The weapon matched him. It was him. People heard him. Friends saw him. He was sending, like, that night, acting agitated. He was sending weird messages to people. He called the police himself and admitted to it. Told them how he did it. Said he'd turn himself in. Fled this fucking state. Okay, so evaded arrest. Fled the state. Had to be dragged back like a fucking calf scramble. And then not only does he get a bond, but it's low as fuck. Okay. Ankle monitor cut off because he can't get a job with it while he's living with his boss. And he's living with his boss, by the way, which I do believe is out of county, even though part of the restrictions on his bail is that he stays in the county of Travis. So what the fuck?
His release on bail. But in April, his defense attorneys argued he'd shown good behavior and should have the device removed. The DA's office objected, but Judge Tamara Needles sided with Waguespack. You might remember this case from November 2015. Waguespack is accused of killing his girlfriend, Catherine Dyer, at their North Austin home. Police say he called 911 to report it, and the next day he was arrested in Mississippi. The trial was scheduled to start on Monday. Today was the final pre-trial hearing just to make sure both sides were ready to go. Now there's a new warrant out for his arrest. He could be charged with felony bail jumping, but the DA's...
So I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to stop sharing this because I have something else I'd like to share with you. Now, again, I'm not even going to say this is a theory. Okay, I'm not even going to say that. What I'm going to say is there is something that I noticed on another case that really bothered me because it made me go, wow, this is a bit disturbing. Like, and I see some similarities. Okay. Now, I want to show you, this is my Google Doc. Okay. So, apologies if it's not the best quality. Let me make it big. So this is this is from his Facebook. It's a picture of his gun next to a snake he shot. And this was in 2013. This is 2 years before the kill. It says direct hit, just the first this year. Someone says, nice, where was that? My boss's property in Manor. So I'm just saying, if he's living with his boss, but he can't find a job, but here's a picture of not only his gun, but he's openly admitting to being at his, yeah, it is very Brian Laundrie. He kind of looks like him a little bit. So I thought that was interesting. Now, I'm going to show you a case that is very disturbing. Again, I want to stress, I'm not saying this guy had anything to do with this case. But what I am saying is that when I was researching him, this case popped into my head because of the CCTV footage. And I went, I wonder if this was around that time, because he had been reportedly, according to some people, others said they didn't notice, but some people said that he seemed like a bit erratic that week and the week prior, and that he would get these bouts of like craziness or mania, but that he was like, the neighbors reported they were fighting and He was extremely loud and cruel. And that sometimes he would one person said sometimes he would disappear for bouts at a time. Like he wouldn't be there and then he'd just show up for a few days and then be gone again. And I thought that was interesting. So this other case I want to tell you about, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. It is extremely graphic, some of the stuff involving the case, so I'm not going to show you everything. Let me pull this up. It's a case of, but we have talked about this before. Hold on one second. And there's a VICAP alert out on this case because they believe that the person who did it might be a serial killer. And there's an unknown suspect out of Houston. And I thought it was weird because Kevin, aka Mike, oops, good, StreamYard's frozen again. Excellent. Mike, he's from the Houston, Katy area. Also, there's an area named Spring, okay, nearby. And he also seems to have ties to that entire area. So Houston, Katy, Spring, the Woodlands, all this area, all the way to Louisiana. And this person may likely have ties to Dallas. But the Houston area, up to the Spring area, Katy, all the way to fucking New Orleans, very specific. And so does Kevin. So, or Michael. He goes by Mike. So Waguespack has these ties to these specific areas. And the person that they're looking for in another case has ties to those areas. And again, the CCTV footage is what made me go, this is kind of weird. And that is the case of Shelby Thornborough. Sorry. So, sorry, Thornburg. Oh, I say it wrong. So, Shelby was a girl who lived in these apartments in Houston called the Conquistador Apartments, okay? On Wednesday, November 4th, 2015, okay? So, within 2 weeks before Catherine Dyer was murdered by Mike, on Wednesday, November 4th, 2015, again, 2 weeks before about, at approximately 9 p.m., Miss Shelby Thornburg was killed inside of her apartment located at the 7500 block of Bel Air Boulevard in Houston, Texas. These are in some high-rise apartments called the Conquistador that are very well known for sex trafficking. She had just gotten lap band surgery, I believe. Started feeling good about her body, started doing sex work, had a pimp, had just been busted for that. She was a mother who had a very hard life, a very, very sad and tragic life. We're going to have to talk about that later because it will take forever. But let's just say she is the epitome of someone who was a victim, extremely vulnerable, taken advantage of her entire life, and was put in an awful situation. She ends up one night, she ends up taking on a client, and she had texted her pimp Good, G-U-D, which is their code word, meaning the guy is just paid. Her pimp, who was also considered her boyfriend at the time, says that he didn't hear back from her for a while. And when he checked on her through text, she didn't say anything. Now he's in another apartment, I guess, nearby. He ends up going down to check on her at her apartment. And when he knocks, she's not answering. He opens the door, and it is the most brutal crime scene. And there are a lot of pictures of it online, thanks to some asshole named Gavin Fish, who, I get it. He's the guy who's like paying me to look at crime scene photos. Okay. But they've been put out there by others, and it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. She was nearly beheaded from behind. There was a ton of blood. It was November, so it was cool at the time, but I noticed that the AC was on, which was weird to me. And there's CCTV of the person who did it entering and leaving, and they're confident. It's very much like Sandra Birchmore situation with the going in and out. The person who did it bought a burner phone about 2 weeks before, and then 2 weeks to a month before. Within a month before, responded to a Backpage ad, killed her, and then destroyed the burner shortly after. They were able to ping it to these areas like Spring, Katy, Houston, I believe, all the way to Louisiana. And it was purchased on a very specific route. And I thought that was weird because when you look at the pictures of the person on CCTV, I'll just show you. So let me pull up. Ooh, I want to show you Shelby first. Okay. And there's like a Crime Watch Daily on her that goes more in depth. It looks like she had even maybe been like beaten, but she was strangled at one point, I think. She was bitten on the back and completely almost beheaded with a knife. So this is her. This is what she looked like. Oh, that's too big. Okay, well, that's not going to work. You can't see that. Here. I'm just going to show you the entire screen, okay? So share this tab instead. Let me pull this up. Hello, JG Cruz. Hello. So ignore some of these. Unfortunately, this is one of the crime scene photos of her after the fact. Help find the killer. Let's get this picture out. Support Team Shelby. This was her and the boyfriend at the time on the balcony of the high rise. Okay. This is what Shelby looked like. She had just lost like 150 pounds. She was a single mother. Her stepdad or her dad, I believe, was in prison for sexually molesting her sister and 2 other teen girls, I believe. Her mother had a really fucked up history with her. She was in and out of foster care her whole life. She had a very hard life, and she had to fight to win back custody from her molester. And she had just won, and she had a hearing coming up, and she was going to be a witness. So a lot of people think that it could be connected to something like that. The guy who molested her whole life, he ended up getting 2 life terms in prison. He's a very, very bad man. He had threatened her. Other people believe it could have been the boyfriend / pimp. Now, when you look at the person who they believe did it, which I'm going to show you right now, this is the CCTV picture of the guy. Okay. This is what he looks like. Now, definitely clean shaven right here. Interesting hairline, interesting glasses, odd shirt. Makes me think, just based on how he's dressed, that he works in some type of construction, oil rigging, fishing, something like that, which is prominent in the Houston area. He does some type of hard labor just based on the whole outfit. And I know a lot of people who look like this guy. But what I want to show you that made me freak out a little bit, and again, this is just odd. So again, look at him. Okay, and now I'm going to show you something that I put together. Now here is a more cleaned up photo. So let me make it a little bit bigger. So look at the build of this guy. He's definitely wearing those kind of those shoes that kind of look like Skechers, but all the fishing dudes wear them. He's got some cargo shorts. He's got the long sleeve shirt. They're cargo shorts. Long sleeve shirt that is infamous for people who work outside in the Houston area, specifically because you would get a real bad sunburn. So even though it's hot outside, a lot of people wear that. But look at the glasses, look at the hairline. I don't know why, but this picture of Kevin Waguespack made me go, because I did see some older pictures of him, and he wears the long sleeve shirts, and he wears the cargo shorts, and he wears shoes like that, and he has the glasses, and sometimes he's clean shaven and sometimes he's not. And he's been known to be in all of these areas. From where the guy bought the burner to everywhere along the route to Louisiana. He doesn't have a big social media presence. Okay. And he was known to not really always be home all the time. He traveled a lot to Houston, apparently. Back home. And I thought it was weird that about 2 weeks before the murder of Catherine Dyer, this shit happens. And then he starts acting really erratic. It just seems weird to me. And I don't think he would have been in their system through CODIS. And I just can't get over how much the glasses and the stuff he wears just kind of looks like that guy. And he fits the criteria for not just that, but every single place that this guy was known to be. Now, I'm going to read you some other things that made me think this. Shelby's killer, they estimated, is 5'11" tall. Mike Waguespack is 5'11" tall. The hairline between Mike and that guy, same hairline. Yes, he has a widow's peak. They traced the phone to Louisiana DFW and all throughout Houston, Spring, and Katy, which is every single place that Mike is known to have been. He has the same glasses, the same clothing, the same build. He's the same height. Catherine Dyer was killed November 17th, 2015. And Shelby was killed in Houston November 4th, 2015. And he just started acting weird like that out of nowhere. This guy is suspected to be between 150 and 70 pounds. He's 5'11" to possibly 6'1", white male. It's just odd. There's footage of him arriving at the building, leaving the building. Now, again, I'm not saying they're in any way 100% related, but I want you to see something real quick. Again, this is what made me go, oh, shit. So this is Solved the Case website, which I've shown you guys before, and you can click through pictures. So let's take a look. We got a little bit of a widow's peak here. Now, if you look at the hairline up there, this was after growing a beard after he got caught, and then he fled. And then that's him with a hat and glasses and a little goatee. And there's a few other pictures on his Facebook, which I should pull, that actually show him clean shaven. So let's go back to this case. And as you can see, and the mother's house where he was picked up was Natchez, Mississippi. Okay. Kevin has ties to Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas communities of Houston and Katy, also Austin, also Dallas, also San Antonio. He lived there at one point. He bitched about that on his Facebook. Kevin murdered his girlfriend, Catherine Dyer, in November of 2015. He fled to Mississippi after calling 911, confessing that he had killed her. After a brief standoff, he was extradited back to Texas. He bonded out on $250K bond and was placed on an ankle monitor. Several months before the trial in 2017, his attorneys petitioned the court to have the GPS ankle monitor removed. The judge agreed. The last time he has been seen or heard from was April of 2017. So again, see how he looks a little different in every picture? It's kind of interesting. And then this is the guy. And even if Kevin is not the same guy, and these are two totally different guys, and they just happen to kind of look alike, I still think that it's important to get the word out on Shelby's case too. So we will have an entire episode on hers, but we're going to have to, that's one of those we're going to have to be careful, because the pictures, the crime scene photos, the stuff about it, surrounding it, it's just extremely sad. And it's hard to look at. It's really hard. The victim is believed to have met with an unknown white male suspect prior to her death. Surveillance captured images of the suspect arriving and leaving the victim's apartment building during the time she was killed. They believe this individual is related to the incident. Not only that, like they put out a VICAP alert, and there was one girl who had an incredible series on him. Dawn Marie, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Dawn. He does look familiar. He looks a lot like a bunch of dudes I went to high school with. But what trips me out is just this one picture. We got the widow's peak, the glasses, the same fucking shirt, which I don't know if this one's long sleeve or not, but like it just looks the same at the collar. I mean, I could be wrong. There's other pictures of him though where he is wearing long sleeves with shorts. And that's one thing that pisses me off, but I understand that people do that sometimes. Just very much looks like him. And it makes me wonder, like, could that guy have done that and then flipped out, taking it out on her? But also he kind of doesn't look anything like him in a way, but he also kind of does. It's very blurry. It's a very blurry picture. Here's another one from Crime Watch Daily. The FBI's on it. Like, people are trying, but that shit's being run by Kash Patel right now. He's got pug eyes. You see it? It makes me think, like, if he had done something horrible like this, what if they were fighting and he told her and then he did that? I don't know. The shoulders and stature. Yeah, just all of it. Like, it's very weird. It makes me wonder, like, I don't know. It seems weird to snap all of a sudden on her, especially at the age he was at. With his history, it didn't seem like he had a history of violent crime. But then when you like look at some of the animal killing and proudly posting it online, like I get that it was a snake. No one likes snakes, but some people actually do. It's very, very strange. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that there's a lot to look at here. And I think that this is a very odd coincidence, you know, if it's not him. But also, I think both cases are important to look at. Both are cold. Both have people who did it who are on the run. There's a lot of information, surprisingly, out on both. I'm going to put some links below this video. And we will continue this discussion next time. And we'll go more into Shelby's case next time. Because if they have nothing to do with each other, which they very much like, they more than likely have nothing to do with each other. Just to be clear, it's still important to talk about both because, again, this guy's still on the run too. So we got two douchebags to hunt down. But Kevin Michael Waguespack, which here's another thing that confuses me is I believe his name is Kevin Michael, but he goes by Mikey. But on the official website for his wanted shit from the U.S. Marshals, it says Michael Kevin. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I know. You talking about Aziz? 100%. Yeah, there's nothing that says no, but there's also, it's like also to me, it's always kind of a stretch. But then like, again, the exact areas that he knows very well. It's strange. Also, Kevin has ties to Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas communities of Houston and Katy. It is believed that he may be homeless. If he is working, he may be doing roofing, construction, or another form of manual labor. That is something to point out. If you know Kevin's whereabouts or you've seen someone who looks like him, I'm going to put the info up right now from solvethecase.org. And I'm actually going to put a link in the chat right here. Okay. So if you want to go see any of this stuff, and I'll also put Shelby's case info. Okay. This is where you go do it. And it tells you right here, here's the phone number, 1-800-336-0101. That's 1-800-336-0101. He should be considered very dangerous. Okay? He could be in the area of Natchez, Mississippi. He could be in Houston. He could be in Katy. Remember, there was an alert that he could have been at the Acuna border, the border between Texas and Mexico. So this is 100% still an open and active case. Shame on the judge. Keep your eyes peeled. But also, if you want to If you want to deep dive and see if you can find his ass online, I refuse to believe that he ain't been doing shit. And I've been looking real heavy into it. I will say that he had some music apps, a YouTube channel. He had a couple of different apps and accounts that have not been accessed since 2017. So since right before he went on the run, never been touched again. So it makes me wonder if he's got some under a new name, perhaps. Because I feel like this is the type of guy to get a burner and to still live online and to maybe even meet women. A lot of people think he might have a new girlfriend who just has no idea. Maybe he's lying and using a new name. But if you've seen this fucking prick, if you've seen this fucking piece of shit, in my best departed Matt Damon voice, if you've seen this fucking piece of shit, he could be flirting with your sister. Call 1-800-336-0101 and fucking snitch on his ass. Dry snitch if you have to, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I love you very much. You are my favorite. You are my favorite. Kids, don't tell the others. Okay? Don't fucking flirt with my sister. Okay? Just don't.
Maggie, I'm not doing this. What?
No, you were flirting with my sister.
I was flirting with your sister.
Yes, you were flirting with my sister.
What? Get over here!